Yes, I am, in fact, shooting a video. Got a little talky bit to do. Need to a little bit more in there. Oh, there. Alright, that shouldn't make any more noise. I'm going to take a peeky. All right. And move it back to here. Okay, let's record and record. Oh, I'd have to find more chickens, and then it'd be a whole palaver to get them to sit up and be in charge. Here's how we make the Argentina cocktail. In our mixing glass, we put 1 ounce or 30 mils of dry gin. Follow that with 1 ounce or 30 mils of dry vermouth. Then we're adding 1/4 ounce, about 7.5 mils of an orange liqueur, and the same amount, 1/4 ounce, 7.5 mils of Dom Benedictine. Then we're adding 1 dash of orange bitters and 1 dash of Angostura bitters. We add ice to the glass, stir it for 20 to 25 seconds so it's nice and cold and we get some dilution in there. And then I'm going to strain that into a Nick and Nora glass. And there we have the Argentina. Let me taste it for you. Oh, I'm a fan. I'm an instant fan of this. It also gives me ideas for a few variations as well. But yeah, I think this is matching exactly what I said. It's a nice cocktail on its own. It stands on its own, but really as the gateway, sneaking people towards a martini, which I think is a noble quest, okay? Not pushing people to drink alcohol who don't like alcohol, but people who like a drink every now and then, but they think, oh, martini, that's a bit much. Because a martini can be a bit much, but we could ease them towards with a drink like this, or just enjoy it on its own, which it deserves. The Argentina. I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope if you ever try this experiment of easing someone in who thinks they don't like gin or don't like martinis, give them something like this. Let me know if it works. And I do hope to see you again soon. But until such time, I will say cheers. That felt like a horrible fake smile. Sometimes my fake smiles feel pretty good, and sometimes they feel awful. That one felt awful. Hey, Nog. Just switch a few things off. All right, getting a few things out of the way so I can. What's okay? Something is vibrating against my shaker tin. Right, you go over there, and I'm going to sit down and relieve the chicken from in charge duties. Oh, I wonder why that looked weird. I don't have my light on. Why it looks so dim? Oh, adjust camera, adjust. There we go. There we go. Thank you for appreciating my smile, Mega Leech. I just get self-conscious. So, There's nothing chickens can't do when they're in charge. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Cheers, y'all. That is actually pretty good. Hey, Safa, how you doing? That's hover. I might make this again. It's hovering between a 7.5 and an 8 at the moment. Oh, it's pretty bloody good, actually. So musically, Eva, you had planned to wear white short sleeve shirt under your black long sleeve shirt for a quick change between different bands, and it worked. Nice. Black shirt with like a jacket. Love it when a plan comes together. You bought my favorite cocktail today for $37. I assume you got a bottled old fashioned. Is that what you're telling me? You need to be a bit more specific about Starwood. If you're talking about their bottled cocktails, the default price for them is $50 to $55 for the bottle. That's just the normal price. So if you got the bottled, what do they call it? The new old fashioned, which is really quite nice. If you got that for $37, good friggin' deal, because that's 5 cocktails for $37 basically. That's 5 generous cocktails for $35. And just really well made. It is one of the better bottled cocktails. And again, I have no idea what that sentence means. You got a monkey company. Oh, nice. Musical ever played Mozart, Rothenberg, Handel, and Lady Gaga. Wonderful eclectic mix there. Yes, I'm sorry, Safi. Your sentences are a little cryptic, and I actually don't know what you mean to say. Okay, monkey shoulder. Okay. So yeah, monkey shoulder is a blended scotch. It's a good blended scotch. It is very good for cocktails. Would probably be if someone said, oh, I want to have a scotch for cocktails, what should I get? I would say monkey shoulder. Just the balance of price and quality. It's a real good mixer. And for drinking straight, if you like drinking scotch straight. But I'm sure it's fine. Again, $37. Depends how big the bottle is, of course. But I'm sure it's fine. I've not had the bottled monkey shoulder one, but I'm sure it's fine. This seems like it's a decent specialty going on. I think it's normally more expensive than that. So either chill it or pour it over ice. An old-fashioned is served on ice. So just pour it over ice. I mean, if you have already chilled it, well and good. But if you haven't, don't sweat it. Just pour it over ice. So you notice my barrel-aged old-fashioned there, ready to go. I don't keep it in the fridge because I didn't dilute it in the barrel. So I like to stir it on ice to get a bit of dilution. Brings the flavors out a bit over the top without the dilution. No, I was just scratching my leg. An itchy bit. So yeah. I would speak contrary to those people. I also don't know how strong that old-fashioned is, but I would serve it over ice. And room temperature is fine because I want it to melt the ice a little bit. Oh, I didn't know Pure Blonde made a cider. I thought they made beer. But I mean, it's the same process, just a different how much. Safa loving the sports ball. I mean, spoiled for choice, my friend. I watched the first episode of the new Justified, which is a show I loved. Timothy Oliphant playing U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens in the Deep South. And this is him 10 years on. And again, I think the character of Raylan Givens is from an Elmore Leonard story, crime writer from, I think, mid to late 20th century. And the new one is from another Elmore Leonard story called City Primeval, but it was not a Raylan Givens story. It was another. It was another detective character, and so they've just rewritten it with Raylan as a thing. And yes, Safar, I did see that Disney's not going to sell physical media in Australia, which upsets a lot of people, and I guess is trying to force people to subscribe to Disney Plus to have Disney content. I don't know if that's a good idea on their part or not. The whole streaming thing seems a little stupid at the moment. Oh God. Well, that's something to look forward to, isn't it, Dr. Abigail? There's not enough stupidity in the world. We need a little bit more. Gosh darn it. Oh well. All right, I have already drunk my first cocktail. That did not last long. Oh, I was going to make another one with my. Oh, I do have. I've got a bottle here. I was assuming I had my bottle opener here, and I do. Hey, Strictly Sega, how you doing? I might quickly make this because I've already drunk my first drink. But this one, tall glass with ginger ale in it. Did that get confirmed, Safa? I saw all the rumors there was going to be a Red Dead 1 remaster. Wasn't sure if there was a final thing. And a remaster, I'd be interested because the original game is much smaller than Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a good game. Everyone liked it. So I don't know if they'll expand it to have it be at least as big as Red Dead Redemption 2 or not. It would also kind of be fun if they remastered the zombie version of Red Dead as well, because that was a pretty funny game. No, do you think the universe is screwing with you? Broke your phone and broke the screen protector in your backup. Oh, damn. Oof. That's a painful experience, breaking your phone. I'm stressed about things like that. I've seen these videos. Okay, just reminded me. There are these videos of thrill seekers. It's the young folk with their phones without a protective case, and they'll just hold it just the faintest bit like this, and it'll be over an open drain. So if it slips, it falls into the sewer. Or there'll be a couple stories up holding it over a balcony. And it's just like, oh, living dangerously. I think those videos are A, funny, and B, genuinely unsettling for me. It's like, I'd be kind of upset if I dropped my phone and it was like just bye-byes. So you just randomly made me think of that. Okay, I am going to make another drink. Okay, so I made the Argentina. Any fans of the goodies here? Because of doing that, I have "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" stuck in my head, and I forgot I was going to. I can try that dirty. Oh well, life goes on. Sol y sombras, sun in the shade, sun in the shadow. That's right. You were telling me you were binge watching Always Sunny. Matt comes out to his dad in prison. I think I've actually seen that one. No, you took insurance on it. Ah, nice. You lost it once at Silverstone during their fine. Yeah, well, that's gone, isn't it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I never played Need for Speed, actually. That was kind of a competitor for Grand Theft Auto, wasn't it? I don't know. Right, I'm going to get myself together for this Soli Sombra. That was the name of a restaurant in Bathurst where I went to uni. It was the cool place, the Soli Sombra. We would just call it the Soli. Right. Move and some stuff. Oh, I guess I should put chicken in charge while I get ready, actually. Put chicken in charge. Don't mess up. Okay. Do this and this. I'm supposed to use creme de cassis, which I don't have. I have creme de moule. I get to choose between blackberry or what's this one? Red currants? I think I'll do the red currant one. Okay, gin, go back on this shelf. Orange liqueur, go back in here. I have to get more orange liqueur. There is only a tiny bit of that in there. All right. This goes back. Lime juice and ginger ale. Okie dokie. I might open my bottle of ginger ale, my spiced orange ginger ale, which I thoroughly recommend. Again, wouldn't mind having them as a sponsor. Fever Tree. Okay. Oh. Okay. We got this. So what's in here? Pisco. Go over here. That is my Pisco. It's down here somewhere. There we go. Oh. Okay. Alright. You're almost gone. Oh, maybe I want to visit my bottle shop that has good liqueurs and Pisco. I might do that tomorrow. Well, I just noticed I was right behind Chicken in Charge's head. Hello, I'm just going there and I'm subsumed by Chicken in Charge. Lime juice. Good things. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready. Pisco. Is it 2 ounces? Creme de cassis. Nice sugar on my thing. I came over here for a specific reason, and now I forgot. To get the fucking GoPro. That's why I came over here. All right. Nobody panic. I've got it under control. I don't know why you're all panicking all the time. Da-da. Brighten this up a bit. There we go. And now. Oh my God, Mikulich, you're really milking the lonely chicken. Lonely chicken might have a friend another time. I have to find where the other chickens are. Wouldn't be that hard. Right. Okay. Okie dokie. 2 ounces biscuit. Teeny bit of lime juice. That's actually that. I think I'll do this glass. That'll do. Or Pilsner glass. Alright, where are we? Pilsner glass. There. That'll do. Let's put some ice in there. There we go. That'll do. Oh, okay. I'm just going to get the rest of this ice ready. Okay. That's a good one. Let's do this. Do this. All right, that's the making done. Okay, and put this light back over here. Bit of indirect lighting, trying to soften my features. So let's that up a little bit. Got this one. Right, this is only a short, so this is about 2 minutes to do this. G'day, cocktail lovers. This is a nice summery drink. It's kind of a highball version of the Pisco Sour, and oh, it tastes really good. You're going to want to get this if you're either in the hot weather or like me trying to pretend you're in hot weather, and put this one together. We make it like this. In a shaker, we put 2 ounces or 60 mils. In a shaker, we put 2 ounces or 60 mils of Pisco, and then we add half an ounce or 15 mils of creme de cassis or a fruit liqueur. Then we add half an ounce or 15 mils of creme de cassis or a fruit liqueur that you like, and then just a little bit, quarter of an ounce, 7.5 mils of lime juice, and then we add ice to the shaker, shake that for about 10 seconds to chill the drink, pour it into a tall glass, top that with some fresh ice, and then top the whole thing with some ginger ale, which gives us the Sol y Sombra, the sun and the shadow. And if you're in the sun, you can do a lot worse than this. Give it a go. Cheers. I really like that ginger ale, actually. Gonna sit down and enjoy this now. Oh man, there is so much crap. No, well, okay, chicken in charge. Your watch has ended, as they say in Game of Thrones. Whew, let's get this out of the way. Okay, and I'll get a bit more ginger ale because there's a little bit more in this bottle. All right, let's sit down. Let us sit down. Sit down, laddie. All right, we've been talking about Sega Mega Drives. Various game consoles. Ooh, I never had a PS1. I had a Nintendo 64. I did get a PS2 when the PS3 came out because I'm a cheapo. And oh god, I mean, back in the day, I literally had an Atari home system. So that was a very primitive one. This is a yummy drink, Strictly Sega. As I summarized it, it's like a highball version of the Pisco Sour. And this ginger ale is really good. A Pisco, which is a great brandy. And some fruity flavors. A little bit of lime juice, a little bit of fruit liqueur. And then the ginger ale. And yes, Strictly Sega, the fact the Nintendo 64 stuck with cartridges did make it sound up. That sentence didn't make sense. The cartridges made it stand out, is what I meant. Not necessarily in a good way, but yeah. Oh, God. This talk, man, on a hot day, I'd probably have even more ice in there. Yeah, like you top it with ginger. There's the thing with highballs, you barely taste the alcohol. This one, I'm not tasting the alcohol at all. There's 2 standard drinks in there. So it's not a lightweight drink. It is tasty, though. And just that little bit of lime juice in there is nice. Dr. Abigail had an Atari 2600 and the developer's kit. Nice. Oh, I actually played on a Commodore 64. Didn't really learn programming on it. Did a teeny bit of programming in BASIC on an Apple II at school. But yes, Commodore's, a color computer for the home. Ooh, that was a trip. Safari have flown Jetstar, not for many years. Probably not for 5 years, but friggin', COVID has fucked my sense of time. All I know is like every now and then I remember COVID started 3.5 years ago. What the fuck? That's time stopped meaning anything. whole thing. Strictly Sega, your first console was a ColecoVision. There you go. Had an expansion that let you play Atari games. Yes, imagine an Xbox that let you play PlayStation games. Yeah. I don't know the name of the famous Atari. Mine was just like an Atari home entertainment system. Your first PC was an Amstrad with a single floppy drive, took 360K discs, no hard drive. Okay. I never owned a PC until I was an adult. I used PCs. Like I said, there was like an Apple II in high school, and there were IBM terminals at uni. First PC I bought was an IBM. It was cheap because the Pentium had just come out, and it had been an SX33, and the guy I bought it from updated the processors to a DX66 processor, and I think it had initially 4 megabytes of RAM, and the hard drive was about 300 megabytes. Like I could really only load like one game on it at a time, or I'd run out of hard drive space. It was a whole thing. Oh, there you go. The famous Atari was the Atari 2600. Oh, God, you're saying the wooden chassis one. Mine wasn't a wooden chassis one. Mine was a plastic one. What was funny, we had a gun on ours, and there was just an incredibly simple game where a large white square would bounce around the screen, and you're trying to shoot it. And I never really understood how it worked. And I read later that apparently it worked pretty much the opposite of the way I thought it did. It was the screen didn't register anything. The gun had a light sensor in it. Like you had to play it in a relatively dimly lit room for it to work properly. The gun had a light sensor in it. And when you pulled the trigger, it like opened the light sensor, and if it determined the light from the square was going straight down the barrel, that was a hit. I was fascinated when I understood that. And that is true. So if I did have an Atari, did not have a telephone line at home. Not the entire time I lived there. I have such shitty technology. I don't know that anyone would even try and do it on an LED. But yeah, the one we had basically had Pong and maybe a Pong variant or two, and this thing for the gun that the thing bounced around was very primitive. Still thought it was pretty cool. What was the games that my friends had? I feel like there was another one, and I was a bit of a noob in the whole gaming thing. I never actually played Duck Hunt. I'm aware of all the jokes about Duck Hunt and the memes and whatnot. I never actually played it. I never had a system that would play Duck Hunt. So yeah, the thing where the dog laughed at you if you missed your shot at the ducks. But yeah, like I said, we did have this Atari, or maybe it was an Atari knockoff. I don't know. Who the heck knows? Strictly Sacred, that's about when I first used the internet too, sometime around 95. That sounds about right for me. As in used it at home. Had an ISP, dial-up connection. Yep, Netscape Navigator. Oh, the Atari game in the dumpster was the ET game, and I have heard some accounts that the folklore version of that's not completely true. But yeah, apparently it's like they spent uh, uh, a lot of money developing an ET game, which was like terrible. Oh yeah, Mega Leech. I wouldn't be surprised if my explanation of how the gun worked was technically wrong. And there was a fisheye lens on there, but it was the whole thing. It's trying to register in the gun that you're pointing it at the bright bit on the screen. Which is, again, I'd been fooled that it was into thinking it was the TV that was registering. Like I'd know I was firing invisible photons at the TV, and the TV was registering whether I hit the thing or not. And it was the opposite. The gun was sensing the bright spot on the TV, and if you'd aimed at it properly. So yeah, first console Coleco. Got a 286, played a shit ton of Sierra games, yes. Got the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter, Sega Saturn. Yeah, I think my I've still got the Nintendo 64. I think it still works. I haven't connected it for a while. Oh God, that's even the question. Does a modern TV even have the right connections for it? Shit. I didn't even think of that. I haven't tried to connect it for a while. Yum, I really like, again, unsponsored endorsement, Fever Tree's Spiced Orange Ginger Ale. It's fucking yummy. That's mostly what that drink tastes like. It doesn't really taste like the alcohol that's in it. Sava, I have no idea if that's true or not. There were a lot of urban legends around the blowing on the cartridge and that thing. All right, so you've got a 4K TV and it does have a composite port. So there you go, maybe go. Oh yeah, no, I'm absolutely sure I could get adapters. Yeah, I was just musing. I haven't looked or connected anything new to the TV for a while. So I don't know if I could connect directly to the TV or if I'd have to get an adapter. And you know, there's a friend, what do you call it? J-Car up the road. They'd probably have adapters. So they have all that nerd shit at J-Car. I only know because young Ms. Angry got into building her own PC, would occasionally want to buy some parts and say, "Can you take me to the J-Car?" And so yeah, okay. So they'd probably have what you'd need. And worst case scenario, I have zero doubt if I went on live. Yes, literally, I live next door to a J-Car. They are my immediate neighbor. I live next door to the J-Car. I do kind of get tempted each time I go into a J-Car to buy some of their weird nerd shit. Like they have like emulators for old arcade games. You get a little thing that's a joystick and the buttons, and you plug it into your TV. Yeah, I think the offspring have no intention of getting a driver's license. Actually, Young Ms. Angry's boyfriend, the American, is quite keen to get a license. At least he was. I don't know if he still is, but he certainly was. Hey, official Justin. Yep, we've been talking consoles, and we just got onto could you put an old console on a modern TV? So we started talking about connectors and whatnot. Oh yeah, actually, Dr. Abigail, I imagine J-Car's orders of magnitude more tempting for you than it is for me, because you're just like
so much more technical than me. I did in my youth quite enjoy Dick Smith. They had, what was their computer? A TRS-80, and the games were on cassette, the magnetic tape on the cassette, and would go into this Tandy, and there was actually, no, it wasn't Dick Smith in Dubbo, it was Tandy Electronics. I was confused. And the computers that you loaded games from cassette, that was wild. Yes, that was the colloquialism, the Trash 80. Yes. Oh yeah, I love the thing teaching kids electronics, being able to buy kits and circuits and whatnot. It's pretty wild. Yeah, I think I'm getting tinnitus unless there's a weird noise coming from my laptop. And my laptop fan is going pretty hard for reasons that aren't completely clear to me. But I think I'm getting an unusual... Yeah, no, it's definitely tinnitus. Great. That'll make it fun to sleep tonight. I just knew of a cinema screen and Atmos, and you hooked up a Super Nintendo entertainment system. Nice. That would be funny. Such a low res system as an SNES on a modern TV. That would be pretty weird. And also that's meant to be on a square screen. Good Lord. Well, that's a fun one. Doing using a projector. The SNES Mini, yes. Oh yeah, I was kind of tempted to get those emulators that came out, the minis. I didn't, but it was kind of tempting. And yeah, Mario Kart on a cinema screen would be good. God, now this is just making me want to see if I can connect the Nintendo 64 to the TV, because Mrs. Angry's busy playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I was going, let's go to the really good ones. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I fucking love those games. Crafty Killer Alien Robot. What petition do you have? That does sound like fun, honestly. Mario Kart and home theater, because you can get current generation Mario Kart as well, of course. I might even have that for the Switch, actually. I'm not sure. Majora's Mask certainly was a pretty dark game, honestly. There were some real horror elements in it. Ah, yeah, Official Justin, your wife also playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's a pretty cool game. New Mario Kart games. Oh, yeah, on the Wii and the GameCube. Yeah, nice. So, Crafty Killer Alien Robot, you have... You have a petition to make whiny congressmen play violent video games. I mean, you've certainly piqued my interest there. Oh, God, Official Justin. What drinking games do you play with Mario Kart? That sounds wild. And yeah, it took a long time for a Zelda game to basically outdo Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Not that all the ones that came out over the years were terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it took till Breath of the Wild to really blow those ones away. Great games. Played them so many times. There was also, when we were talking about Majora's Mask, there was a sort of creepypasta urban legend someone invented on YouTube, and they had something where they could do mods of Majora's Mask, that they got like a haunted cartridge, and where weird, freaky, scary stuff happened. Nice. Official Justin, your wife spotted the stream. It's Angry Chicken Man with chicken in charge. Who will be in charge again in a bit? I have in mind to make one more cocktail, but I'll put chicken in charge over there for now. Oh yeah, Link to the Past. I mean, Wind Waker was really good. The way they completely changed the style of it for Wind Waker, that was pretty cool. I don't think any of the Zelda games were particularly bad. I just think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask stood head and shoulders above the others right until Breath of the Wild came. I would love a recoded either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask done on the scale of the new ones, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, strictly Sega. Wind Waker was the cel-shaded graphics one. It's very cartoony. All right, so Mario Kart drinking games. Drinks happening for each race. A shot of something strong. I could just see that your performance deteriorating round after round if you're doing a shot at the start of each race. Just keep going. Oofed. And again, Mario Kart 64. I played the hell out of it. Dr. Abigail, I saw that comment. Did you make other ones? Oh, that one. You played Mario Kart at PAX in the Diversity Lounge? Nice. Blue shell drinking game. What's that? You have to do a shot if you get hit with a blue shell. There's an absolutely hilarious gameplay video I saw on YouTube, like the most devastating blue shell ever. Someone is winning the race, and I forget which version it was and which track it was, but just before the finish line, there was a bridge over a chasm, and they were winning fairly easily, and finish line's in sight. And just when they reach this bridge, the blue shell hits them and knocks them off the bridge into the chasm. And the recovery from that takes so long, they ended up coming last. It was brutal. It was the most devastating blue shell. Just like, yikes. All right, well, I've knocked that off. All right. Actually, that's not that bad. 2 drinks in 50 minutes. By the time I make another one, I'll be 2 drinks in an hour. So that's actually not too bad. And it's a Saturday night. So, you know, as Elton John told us, Saturday night's all right for fighting. I personally tend to avoid the PC Master Race line, you know, just little Nazi undertones, but that's me. Right. What was the other cocktail I had? Oh yeah, there's one that's like 2 ounces of vermouth. It's like a reverse Manhattan, which I find fascinating. The Islander. Yeah, this is basically a reverse Manhattan, which sounds super weird to me. And I want to try it. I'm doing that. I kind of think, again, non-technical person, but my understanding is the console games, the console games is the game is tailored to maximize what the console can do. But of course, you can keep, if you have a limitless budget, you can keep powering your PC up and up. Crafty Killer Robot. What did I figure out answers yet? I answers to what? You know, I don't always keep up with things. Oh God, Strictly Sega. Really? You got a 2012 PC? Dr. Abigail actually helped me upgrade my PC in the last year, which really fucking helped with my video editing. I can tell you that. Because I was actually having problems with my video editing. And now, less so. All right. I think it's time for Chicken in Charge again. Because I am going to do this bloody reverse Manhattan. Oh, sorry. Okay, yes. No, I know. Okay, so PC Master Race is used by PC gamers as a cell phone because they're stupid and gatekeepy. But the trouble is, irony doesn't really work in internet speak. And I know you're not a Nazi. I was just saying. It's kind of like I won't use that meme format that has that absolute piece of shit Steven Crowder with Change My Mind. I just despise him so much. I have an aversion. I will not use that meme format. I don't judge anyone who does. It's just a personal choice that I make. So do we mean stupid as in stupid good, or stupid as in a stupid choice? Because yeah, for ages, Macs were optimized for digital art. Yeah, big surprise that a gross misogynist is actually an abuser in real life. So for cinema movies aren't edited on Macs. They're edited on purpose-built digital systems. It is possible to edit in very high quality on Macs, and people who work in digital art tend to, it's not universal, but there's a tendency, I'm talking from behind the chicken. There is a tendency on digital art people to prefer Macs over PCs. No, they do not use, or they don't use off-the-shelf Macs. They use really specific. Oh my God, Megaleech is not going to let me leave Chicken in Charge alone. This whole thing. I guess they're probably purpose-built Macs. Oh no, I'm betraying all my technical shortcomings here, but yes. They had all their custom software and whatnot. I think, Justin, these days, I think most YouTubers use PCs because they're easier to manage and upgrade. Although I may just be pulling that out of my ass. 4 characters called Gwen. I don't know. I guess one's Spider-Gwen. Anyway, I'm going to make this. Reverse Manhattan. All chickens in charge. And then I'll be all done. I can spend tomorrow editing. And then I'll be way ahead. And then if I do some more tomorrow night, I'll be like a week ahead again. Because I was a week ahead and then I got slow. But I did a bunch of editing today. All right, so if I'm doing this one, what do I need? Just the vermouth and the whiskey and a bar spoon of absinthe. Okay. All right, let's clear the decks. Okay. Pisco goes back here on the brandy shelf. This goes back in le cupboard. Okay, you can go there. There we go, there we go, there we go. All right, which whiskey will we choose? I think we probably want a strong one. 36%. That's pretty strong. All right, so vermouth, whiskey, und absinthe. Just a little bar spoon of absinthe. All right, now I'm going to set everything up. Don't know why I'm using a voice or what it's supposed to be. But it is what it is. All right. Okie dokie. Let's get this. All right, a little bit more. All right, that seems pretty good. Let's get these ready, and we'll make the video. Get ready, because here I come now. That was very squeaky. All right, 80% absinthe. Nice. All right, this one first. 2 Oz. I'll get that ready. All right. We'll get this rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Do, 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 do. What are we doing? 3/4 of an ounce. That'll do. That's probably enough. Ooh, change the color. Okay. Well, let's put some ice in there. All right. Stick that there. And ready, steady. Alphabet spaghetti. Okay. That is interesting. Get my Nick and Nora glass. I'm just going to reuse it because that's how I roll.
How's it? That's pretty good. That's pretty well. That's pretty straight. Ooh, the absinthe gave it a nice tinge. Okay, you're done. That's pretty wild. That's pretty strange. Have you ever seen a jellyfish? That shit's crazy. All right. Und finally, the Islander. All right. Do my talky bit for the shirt video. Short, not shirt. Although I'm wearing a shirt. But it's a shirt video. Do 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 do. Where are we? Okay, that's ready. That's ready. G'day, cocktail lovers. This drink, for reasons unknown to me, is called the Islander because it is not a very tropical drink. It is essentially a reverse Manhattan with a little surprise in it. I don't know if the color's giving anything away, but I'm going to show you how to make it right now. In our mixing glass, we're going to put 2 ounces or 60 mils of dry vermouth. What is it? Sweet vermouth. Okay. So far as taste goes, this is very interesting. That little twist is coming through. Let me show you how we make it. In our mixing glass, we're going to put 2 ounces or 60 mils of sweet vermouth, and then 3/4 of an ounce, about 22.5 mils of whiskey of your choice. And the little surprise, we're just going to put about a bar spoon, around 5 mils of absinthe in there. Then we add ice to the mixing glass, stir that for around 20 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and then we strain that into a Nick and Nora. My blue absinthe, 80% alcohol, by the way. It's making a bit more of an impact than a lot of absinthes make, but it's a nice little twist on the reverse Manhattan flavor. I think you might like it. Give it a go. The Islander. Cheers. All right. That's it. My fast talking. Okay, you go over there. Get out the way. You get out the way. Here we go. Here we go. Chicken's no longer in charge. Oh, I didn't even put the banner up honoring chicken in charge. Oh, well, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oof. Cheers, y'all. Oh, man. That little bit of absinthe is really weird in this. I think it's about a 7. It's not terrible, and it's an interesting little surprise, but I can't imagine I'd make it again. Too many other cocktails I like more. Yeah, Safra, I think you were thinking of olden times there. Pretty much everything in the world self-installs these days.
Mind you, my work PC has been having problems, and it involved getting like the help desk to manually update drivers on it. So it's not about games, but yeah. Okay, Justin, you've used different platforms for editing. I've only ever used PC. Latest PC setup hasn't crashed. There you go. Are you saying Origin and Steam having issues? I don't know. I just let things, install their package. I'm not that technical. I've had stupid problems with my work PC, but that's nothing to do with gaming. This little laptop, which I paid extra for so I could play some games on it, it was by no means the most expensive or most high-powered. In fact, it probably cost me less than half what the most expensive gaming laptops cost. Still cost me more than my previous laptop did, mind you, but that's the way. My PC was definitely underpowered for trying to edit 4K video. Like prior to my last upgrade, which Dr. Abigail helped me with, I would have some considerable trouble trying to edit 4K video. It would break the poor little, and because I don't use a particularly high-end editing program. I use Corel Video Studio, and its poor little brain couldn't deal, and the audio would always slide out of sync with the video. It was super fucking frustrating, quite honestly. Don't have that problem anymore. So that's good. Actually, strictly say that's funny. You brought that up. I got some stuff on Steam, and it just won't fucking launch. It literally just won't launch, and it's ridiculous. But I think it was a free game anyway, so I don't really give a crap. Hey, Pat, how you doing? And yeah, no, trying to edit 4K video was hurting my poor little software's brain. That is actually true. That is a huge bonus for consoles, which is less so for PC games. A second-hand market is cool. Well, they just get me. I got Red Dead on Steam, and also because they give away free games, I got a bunch of free or cheap games on it. And also, sometimes when I get stuff from Humble Bundle, it's connected to Steam as well. So yeah, I've got a bunch of games on my PC that I haven't played. So I may or may not ever get around to them. I really want to give Disco Elysium a decent go. I've played it a little bit, and everything I've heard about it makes it sound like a game I'd enjoy. I need to focus and get back into it, really. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Disco Elysium. So yeah, I don't know if oh yeah, Suffer, I use the Epic Games Store as well for some because they also have sales. And I'm a hoe, and I will just go where the specials are. I have allegiance to no one and nothing. So yeah. Yeah, I think basically the whole thing with PCs and consoles swings and roundabouts. Individual preference plays a really huge role in it, as opposed to, you know, seriously being able to objectively rate one thing either the other one. And Dr. Abigail, I understand not wanting another game store on your PC. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But then again, like I said, I've been getting these games and not playing them. Ugh. I was playing Borderlands 3 on a really easy setting. And it's probably a too easy setting because I just don't die in it. I just go in these big fights and just keep running around going, woo, bang, 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 bang. And I don't die. But who knows? Official Justin was joking with Mrs. Angry about my not just gaming stuff. I do have physical media for console games, but also movies and TV shows. I have a huge fucking shelf of discs. So, you know, if I ever get cut off from the internet, I still have a couple of years worth of content to go through. Yeah, I think I love the Borderlands games. I just think they're funny. You get serious gamers who don't like them. They're just funny. You just go around doing stupid shit. And that's one game where I'm sniping all the time. I remember I really enjoyed the Star Wars Battlefront games. Like Battlefront on PS2, I really enjoyed. But the character that was a sniper in that, for some reason, just the way the game played, I was never any good as a sniper in that. It was shit. But Borderlands, I almost always go for a good sniper rifle. And actually, even Red Dead, scoped rifles, I quite like scoped rifles in Red Dead. And other shooty games I play, like Grand Theft Auto, is it Mafia 3? There's a few that, but yeah, every now and then there's a game, and just the way the game mechanics works, I can't snipe, which is sad because I kind of like sniping. But yeah, when I find a game where I can, I really enjoy myself. Oh, like the Far Cry games as well. I tend to like sniping in Far Cry games. I mean, of course, yeah, Justin, you blast away as well. But also, particularly when you're in the bigger open arenas, if you got a good sniper rifle, just popping people's heads from a distance is extremely satisfying. And I have to get the Tiny Tina spin-off from Borderlands 3 because I really liked the Tiny Tina spin-off in Borderlands 2, which was a Dungeons and Dragons game, which also, besides just being fun to play, the actual resolution of it was so emotional because in a Borderlands 2, one of the key characters, it was a character you played in the first one that's a featured NPC in the second one. One of these characters gets killed in Borderlands 2, and it was a character. So I wasn't going to do a spoiler, Mega Lich, although it's for a very old game. Tina saw him as a father figure, and so she was very unhappy about it. But for me, where that really came through was in this DLC, which is a Dungeons and Dragons game, where Tina was playing out a lot. Tina's the DM, and she's playing out a lot of her frustrations with what happened. And the whole joke is Tiny Tina's an orphan. Her parents were killed by the fucking mutants, and she's a bit out there. But when you played this D&D game, it became really clear Tina was fucking broken by Roland being killed. And it was really, I found it really emotionally impactful. It was caught me by surprise. It was just like, it got to this critical point and everyone's going like, Tina, you're being a bit weird. But then it was like, oh no, she's traumatized. She's fucked up. She has been really fucked up by this guy being killed. And it was weird. There's a little bit of DLC that was on the surface even sillier than the Borderlands game. But there was just this one bit of real emotional impact. And I was like, oh, damn. I wasn't really expecting to have feelings about this, but here you are giving me feelings. Yeah, Justin, I think I was maybe more into Borderlands 2 than Borderlands 3 as well. Borderlands 3 was fun. The new characters, like the 4 character classes you get to choose between, were fun. I've only done 2 of them. But they're definitely fun. But yeah, Borderlands 2 and all the DLC, I was really into it. Finishing my ridiculously overpriced charred pineapple daiquiri mix. Well, I only paid $2 for it. They were trying to sell it for $20. This whole non-alcoholic beverage thing going. Oh, I actually had some other non-alcoholic beverages in the fridge that I was going to try. One's obviously meant to be emulating an Aperol spritz, and one's emulating a limoncello spritz. And again, they were like 75% off in the supermarket, so I was trying to oofed. You see, got a couple of really good games for the Switch, quite honestly. Not least the Zelda games. Fucking love the Zelda games. They're incredible. Oh yeah, and there are some actual party games for the Switch as well. If I understand, young Mr. Angry had him. He would occasionally have friends over, and they would play various party games. But oh God, I don't know if anyone remembers that. I would occasionally be doing streams, and there was a party with young folk. And that was a whole thing. I mean, God, Dr. Abigail was actually here for one of them, giving me moral support, while young Mr. Angry's delayed 21st birthday party, COVID delayed 21st birthday party was happening. Yes, Mario Party. And I think there's another one as well. I don't know. I might even have the latest Mario Kart, or as in the offspring might have bought it. It might still be here. I haven't played it. I played so many hours of Mario Kart 64. I fucking loved it. And just Mario 64. I think we've got like Mario Galaxy for the Switch. Never played it. I don't get much opportunity. Well, for the last month, Mrs. Angry's been on sick leave and runs out of energy really quickly. So she's been gaming a lot. So it's like, okay, it would be somewhat rude of me to say, I want to do it. You sit there because I can go off and do other things. And it's much more difficult for her to go into other things. I never actually played Halo. Well, because I never had an Xbox. Still don't have an Xbox. I've never had an Xbox. So I've never done that. Tell you what, I am a red versus blue fan, though. The Machinima done with Halo. That's very clever, very funny, very clever, and very silly. That is true. Yes, no. Even as I said it, I thought Halo's for PC too, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, official Justin also chiming in. Oh, yeah. So, Dr. Abigail, you Halo with friends. Yeah, that's a cooperative. From what I've heard, it's good as a cooperative game. I don't like playing games with other people, actually. Bleh, other people. Bleh. So, it's my antisocial personality coming out there, just not liking other people. Oh, okay. You liked Halo 3, but then you played Halo Infinite. See, I've not played any of them. I watched the streaming show, which, because I've never played the game, I kind of liked. Don't know if they're ever going to do a season 2 of it. Don't really know how it was received. I don't know. It's yeah, it's weird. I guess I could live without ever seeing any more of a Halo streaming series. Yeah, because there's other ones I really want. Last of Us season 2. I really want to see a season 2 of Last of Us. Man, that was a good show. That was a really good show. One that stayed faithful to the game, but was also its own thing. Pretty goddamn clever. And also, if you've watched The Last of Us, the streaming series, I thoroughly recommend you find the podcast the makers did for to accompany the show. The people on the podcast are like the showrunner for the show and the producer of the game, and they work together on the show. Yeah, we are having a pretty good geeky chat tonight. It's true. But yeah, the podcast for The Last of Us, the official HBO podcast, is just really good. They give you so much depth, and they explain to you the choices they made and when they had to decide, we're going to do something that's not in the game, or we're going to do something that's different to the game, and what the inspiration was, and just having the two play off each other. To me, it was particularly funny when the showrunner saying to the guy who made the game, what if we did this? And the guy who made the game was like, oh, fuck you, that's brilliant. Oh, fuck you for thinking of that. Why didn't I think of that? God damn it. It's just like, it's just a real. Also, the same guy who made The Last of Us made the Chernobyl miniseries and did an equally fascinating, in-depth podcast just breaking down each episode of Chernobyl. Chernobyl's even more depressing than The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a fairly fucking depressing show, but Chernobyl was more depressing. Oh, Safa, that's the fun thing. Finding out all the people who were in the game got cameos in the TV series playing different roles. It was fucking cool. It was very fun when they go, oh yeah, this person in the TV show, like the woman who voiced Ellie in the game, is in the TV show. She's not Ellie, but I won't spoil it because I was there. But yeah, you got a bunch of people who were voice actors in the game who got roles on the TV show. It's cool. Hello, Governor, on Twitch. God damn it, yes. I'm assuming that's to do with Last of Us or something. I don't know. I won't hurt you. Oh, and I also look, honestly, I might be talking to myself, but I'm using a service called StreamYard to restream YouTube, Twitch, Facebook at the same time. Most people watch me on YouTube. So if I'm talking to someone and you're wondering who the hell is he talking to, they're probably on YouTube. Most people watch me on YouTube. So there you go. I might actually rewatch The Last of Us because it's really good. Mrs. Angry and I are rewatching the Mandalorian. When we get off that, might rewatch Andor actually because I fucking loved Andor. That was so good. Might rewatch The Last of Us. Also, extremely good show. Zava, you lived 6 hours south of Chernobyl for 5 years. Yeah, you might be a bit radioactive, man. Yeah, see, hello, Governor. If you're talking Twitch speak, no goddamn idea what that's about. Oh, yeah, no, official Justin Safa was living in Ukraine. Safa, Andor was last year. And honestly, if I rewatch Andor, then I'm going to watch Rogue One, best of the new Star Wars movies. I just fucking love it. Actually, now I think of it, I'm definitely going to rewatch Andor, and I think Mrs. Angry will be on for it when we finish rewatching Mandalorian. There's also other new stuff that we're watching. You're watching Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and a few other things. We'll definitely rewatch Andor, I think, because that's a fucking high watermark for these Star Wars streaming series. It's really good. It was just Mrs. Watson and yourself rewatching Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Nice. Oh, yeah, I bet it's better quality than streaming services, a physical copy. We did rewatch season 1 of Strange New Worlds in the lead up to season 2. It's very rushable. And yeah, absolutely, Rogue One's the best of the new Star Wars films. Fucking kicks ass. Oh no, you were saying the one after the Lower Decks. We've gone from really light-hearted with the Lower Decks crossover to really dark. I might watch it with Mrs. Angry tomorrow, like possibly before tomorrow night's stream. Either that or I'll watch it on Monday. So yes. I just realized we'd actually got a bit behind when we sat down to watch some stuff this week. We had 2 episodes to watch, and that was before the newest one came out. But so I'll probably watch the newest one tomorrow or Monday at the latest. I'm really intrigued to see what they do next with Star Trek on TV, because doing Strange New Worlds much more like the episodic structure of the old series has clearly worked extremely well. Whereas all the other ones, Disco and Picard, were an arc over an entire season, which was done with varying degrees of success over varying seasons. I am really keen to see if they just go, oh, you know what? Episodic works more than an arc over a whole season. Or if they try a sort of hybrid approach. Because also, Below Decks is episodic as well. Safa, old fashions are among the strongest cocktails. You get, of the classics are all really boozy. An old fashioned, a martini, a Manhattan, they're basically all alcohol, sometimes with a bit of sugar in them. Old fashioned has a bit of sugar in it. Well, that's the thing, official Justin. I think in terms of Star Trek, the episodic ones have worked better than the seasonal story arc ones. Yes, you don't want to be a Tim Smith, Safa. If you've had a couple old fashions, you don't want to drive. Stay home. It's a non-alcoholic drink for anyone who's wondering. I've tried the 3 cocktails. I'm just going to have a non-alcoholic drink now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yes. Safa, what an old-fashioned has is bitters, and the bitters will lend a cinnamony flavor to it, definitely. Oh, Justin, I'm freaking always doing old-fashions. Fucking love old-fashions. One I made on, I think I just made it on Friday night because I was editing the video for it. It was a real split base. It was whiskey and mezcal and actually a herbal element. It made it for a very interesting and different old-fashioned. But man, I've got a whole bottle, my barrel-aged old-fashioned there. That's a 1 liter bottle. So it's probably still about 600 mils. So that's like 6 drinks. Oh, Justin, whiskey sour was probably the first cocktail I really got into when I was getting a bit serious about cocktails. Whiskey sour is fucking rock. I need to make one. I feel like I haven't made a good whiskey sour in ages, actually. Ooh. I could do a clarified whiskey sour. Actually, I suppose when I said I recently did a clarified old-fashioned. It's probably really a sour. Though I used orange juice, not lemon juice. It's the whole thing. Oh, Justin, whatever whiskey you like. Top shelf is all whiskeys, and there's 3 ranks of that. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's like, oh, and there's one on the side. I think I've got about 23 or 24 whiskeys. My default for a whiskey sour would be a lighter whiskey, like not a really heavy, proofy one. And me being the big proponent of Australian whiskies, I'd probably, from my Australian whiskies, I would probably say Starward Twofold would be my first choice for a whiskey sour. But if you just had some of the big international brands, I mean, honestly, like, Jack Daniel's, Jim Beam would make a good whiskey sour, I think. The key is don't use a sour mix. Make your own sugar syrup and use fresh lemon juice and bitters rather than a sour mix. But yeah, I think, experiment, use whatevs in a whiskey sour. But if you're going to choose, I would say a lighter one. Oh, egg yolk. Okay. Fun fact. Cocktails that have an egg yolk or a whole egg are called a flip. And there are actually some really good flips. They kind of taste like omelets, honestly. Oh, that's okay. Do double black as a mixer. Why not? What the fuck? Just use what you got or use what you like. I can definitely be super fucking snobby, but for an individual person, like, use what you got, use what you like. So if you're the only one who likes long distance plane food, kind of depends. I've had good food on planes. All right, so you were asking yourself, Justin saying no. It's a long time since I've done a long flight, so very vague memories of of an international flight. Oh, yeah, okay. Dimple is a good mixer. That's true. Yeah, and I mentioned earlier again, Scotch Monkey Shoulder is a really good mixer. But, just fucking Johnny Walker. If all you've got's Johnny Walker or something, use that. Yeah, but my big thing with a whiskey sour would be using fresh ingredients rather than a sour mix. Sour mixes are terrible. Do fresh squeeze lemon juice and make your own sugar syrup. Excellent question, Safa. Why do the Bogans love Bundaberg rum? I don't know. Bundaberg rum's just been around forever. It's one of the oldest distilleries in Australia, and it just got married. Oh, yes. West Dubbo. A lot of Bundys. A lot of Bundy and Coke in West Dubbo. Yeah, Johnny Red. It's like what you got. You go with what you got. And, I've got, as I said, because I've got so fucking many whiskeys. It's just like whatevs. I haven't made a whiskey sour with egg white in ages. And I feel like I should, because I got a foamer, like a thing with a dropper that you drop this foaming agent in. And official Justin, I think that's Bundaberg rum's strongest point, bang for buck. I bit more serious about rums these days, and I've given Bundaberg rum a chance a couple of times and consistently being disappointed with it. So, fuck them. Oh, strictly say working the bar at the footy. Yes. Yeah. No, I bet the whole bar smelled like Bundy. Absolutely. How many rums do I have? So it's like, okay, so top is whiskeys. Next is gins. There's 4 rows. Then there's rums and agave. Man, I got a lot of rums there. And then the bottom, what's down the bottom? That's all and sundry. It's brandies and a whole bunch of other stuff on the bottom. And then the liqueurs are in the cupboard. Oh, is there a convo in Discord? I don't even have the Discord open. I don't remember that. There's a bar at your home you're cleaning out with your mum. Okay, well, that's a lot going on. Justin Bundy Overproof is your crypto. I have a couple of Australian rums over here, but not so much things. Very in general. 45 messages. God damn. Okay, I'm not even going to read all those 45. I hope you've been having a good time doing it. All right. I didn't know all that was going on a very geeky talk going on in the Discord. But that's all good. Okay, the Johnny Walkers. Johnny Walker's like an entry-level Scotch. The red's the cheapest. For people who want to know whiskey, I am a big fan of YouTube channel called The Whiskey Tribe. Those guys know their shit, and they occasionally do some tastings, and they get surprised by which ones they like when it's a blind tasting. Oh, nice, Doug. Home bars. Accidentally built your own. Brother was graduating uni, spirits, and you were the only one drinking. All right. The Johnny Walker Double Black. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so again, with the whiskies, about So, I don't know, 80-90% of my whiskies are Australian. I have 2 scotches and 2 bourbons and 1 Irish whiskey. The rest are all Australian. The gins are 100% Australian. I don't bother buying gins that aren't Australian. The rums. Actually, now I feel compelled to count the rums because I think the rums are about half Australian. Let's have a look. Okay. So, Australian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all Australian. And the next row, 1, 2. Who's that? No, that's Australian. 3, 4. Yeah, the rums are about 50% Australian. The brandies are mostly not Australian. I occasionally have Australian brandies. So that's the whole thing. Oh, Justin, there are a lot of good rums, gins about. It's just Australian gin distillers fucking kick ass. They do such good stuff. They will be more expensive than the mass-produced brands. But I'll also throw out at the moment, you should fucking check the Woolies adjacent bottle shop, the BWS, because they're doing this thing where they clear the shelves and there's some stuff they stop selling and they sell it cheap. And they often have these really good prices on Australian boutique gins, like 30-40% off sometimes. So it's worth checking. I'll probably do it again on Monday, go into the office on Monday, and I'll check out the same BWS where I got a couple of things last week. And that's the whole thing. Well, again, if Kirsten was here, she's the font of knowledge for these sorts of things. But I think it's like the European gin makers have a choice of a couple hundred botanicals to use in gin, and Australia. And I just, in terms of locally available botanicals to flavor their gins, and Australian makers have a couple of thousand things they can use, locally available botanicals that are unique to Australia, and so the gins kick ass. And yes, Justin, I also agree going to the pub is a family outing in most parts of Australia. I always love, I haven't done it for ages, but like a road trip between Melbourne and Dubbo, going through all the towns. No matter how small the town is, they have a fucking pub. And so there's a place to go. Suffolk, you think if you say Kirsten's name 3 times, she'll be maybe, she might have stuff going on as well. Who knows? But it's I'm also trying to be good and not buy more bottles. But I already said I'm going to go to the BWS in QV on Monday and see if they put any more stuff out on sale as opposed to last Monday when I got up with things. Yes, we're in Dubbo and pubs. Dubbo West has 87 pubs. Okay, without exaggeration, Dubbo has probably got. I'm just really roughly approximating now. I'm remembering going the ones on 1, 2, 3, 4. Dubbo would have at least 10 pubs, at least, maybe more. The 6 o'clock swill you're thinking of, Safa, they stopped serving beer at 6, so guys would just mob the bar at 6 to try and get it. It's known as the 6 o'clock swill. Yeah, I'm maybe being really conservative saying Dubbo has 10 pubs, but it's got at least 10 pubs. some of which have been there for a very long time. Some are much newer. And by much newer, I think, they've only appeared in the last 20 years. But some of them have been there a real long time. And I have no idea what they're like now. But when I were a lad, there were a couple of pubs in Dubbo that were rough as fucking guts. There were a couple of nicer ones, but there was a couple that were just like, ooh, Nelly. God damn. Oh, no. Safi got refused surface at midnight on Christmas Eve. Too many other customers. Well, working in a pub is tough, quite honestly. So strictly Sega, Cloud 9 in Mandura is bigger than the post office. Oh, damn. I love that, Justin. 10 places with beer on tap within walking distance. And Justin Underwood. Hey, how you doing? So for your local pub at gunshots, my favorite was the pub, which I was not that far from where I lived. It's one of the rough ones that had buckshot marks in the wall outside. There was a disagreement between some bikers and I think some local indigenous folk, and it involved someone doing a drive-by with a shotgun, and they never fixed it. So this is a pub with like buckshot holes in the exterior wall. Not holes, but like divots. It's the whole thing. I think I mentioned I went to a place during the week for food with the young'uns. Instead of takeaway, we went and sat down at this pub. And this pub has a brewery on site. They make like a dozen beers. Wild. Oh my God. In Dr. Abigail's place, because she lives near the city, so many purveyors of beverages. Oh, yeah, no, that was a whole thing. So I'm going back 40 years. God, what rooms were like one of the disagreements in one of the pubs? One dude glassed another guy in the throat and he bled out on the pool table. And that's what resulted in the shotgun blast into the pub. It's a whole thing. Well, actually, Justin never even mentioned what I named the stream after. I was looking through the news today, and there was a story that I personally found hilarious. It's like headlining, "Oh, Charlotte Owens, the youngest peer in the House of Lords, but the newly minted Baroness is outraging Britain." I go, well, House of Lords is stupid as fuck, so who cares? She's the Baroness of Alderley Edge. But the story goes, former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson granted Lady Owen and 6 other individuals life peerage in his resignation honours list, labelled as his final act of madness by the Independent newspaper. So she's only 30. She is 40 years younger than most of the people in the House of Lords. House of Lords is stupid as fuck. And also, Baron Kempsell of Letchworth is only 31. And apparently they're like no one, and they've done nothing. They just worked on Boris Johnson's staff. And apparently people think he's just like deliberately done it maliciously. Just like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to do something really stupid and elevate a couple of 30-year-olds who've done nothing to the House of Lords. The House of Lords shouldn't exist. It's a fucking farce. It's an anti-democratic pile of bullshit. But it's kind of fucking funny that Boris Johnson did this thing. Yeah, it is truly stunning that the Tories stay in power. No, who knows? Who knows what will happen in the next election? But Jesus, did Dutton clean up bike? Dutton's never done anything to clean up any crime ever. When he was a cop, he was in the drug squad in Queensland. Queensland Police, the notoriously most corrupt police in Australia. The drug squad, the most notoriously corrupt cops in any area. So, but Dutton was probably not corrupt, he said, avoiding any legal problems. Hashtag sarcasm. God damn. Yeah. I do not think Dutton would survive any sort of serious inquiry into his past. It's just like, God fucking damn. Well, what was very clever, Dr. Abigail, the LNP, who told everyone we were having terrible trouble with African crime gangs in Melbourne, they managed to clear them out by losing that election, because they lost that election, and we haven't had a problem with Sudanese crime gangs since. So, yeah. They're such fucking losers, literally and metaphorically. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, that was so fucking ridiculous and embarrassing and stupid. And I also friggin' love that the conservative media, the Murdoch media is all fucking conservative, but the Murdoch media and the conservative talkback people super fucking angry that the voting public in Victoria haven't listened to them for several elections now and have voted in the Andrews Labor government. They were very angry that they were not listened to, because they launched a non-stop campaign of bullshit to get people to vote against Labor, and it's not working. And they're super upset that people don't do what they tell them. Oh my God. It's just so fucking ridiculous. Deep sigh. Just talking about fighting. God, I even saw some reports today that big surprise. The supposed cage fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg is not going to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Elon Musk is a stupid fucking lying moron. He's an absolute fucking embarrassment. Just absolute. Oh, I was trying to get what that metaphor was. Bob Catter. Okay. He's an interesting guy. Was he Dutton? Okay, I'm going to really quickly look at what we're talking about here. I'm not going to say anything till I see a news report. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about, Dutton and bribery. Dutton was briefed on bribery investigation before his government signed a contract with the target. Australian Federal Police say it briefed the Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton on an investigation into alleged bribery 1 month before his department entered into a new contract with the target of that investigation. Revelation has promised Prime Minister Albanese to demand an explanation, although there's no suggestion Dutton was personally involved in the contract decision. Greens called for a royal commission. Guardian reported on how the former government continued to pay millions of taxpayer dollars to a businessman convicted of corruption. Oh, yes, this is the offshore processing in Nauru. Oh, my God. What a shit show on so many levels. Oh, God, I still haven't been seeing what you've been saying on Discord about PCs and consoles. Oh, no matter what the platform, Mac, PC, console, rich people running the big companies will always try and fuck us. God damn. Yep, there's no arguing with that. Oh my God, see, so this is what I'm saying. Seriously, a royal commission that investigated Dutton specifically and how he got the money he has. I just, it wouldn't have to be a royal commission, just a proper police or anti-corruption investigation. I do not think Peter Dutton would fare very well at all if there was an investigation into his past. Okay, which is not saying he's a criminal or corruption. Just like betting and saying he's just like, nah. I just don't think he would do very well at all if there was an investigation into his past. But I'm willing to be surprised. I'm willing to be surprised. It's a whole thing. So we were joking about the WA Libs. Yeah, there's only like 3 of them or something, isn't there? I don't know. Oh, there was a by-election, or it's coming up because the former premier resigned, surprising everyone. And so there was an election for his seat. And I know there was some talk that it might not be a shoo-in for Labor. I don't know. It's just like the media generally are such fucking hacks and just talk absolute shit to try and have something to talk about. It's weird. I almost sound like a fucking Trump supporter QAnon person just going like, oh no, the media definitely just fucking talk shit. It's well, that's an interesting one. Yes, federal Labor talked about pushing a double dissolution if their legislation for housing gets rejected again, which is pretty much a threat to the Greens, because I think there's a general consensus the Greens wouldn't do all that well in a double dissolution. I mean, honestly, who friggin' knows? Who knows at all? Not me. There's so much shite talked about so many things in La Politrix. It's impossible to know what's up and what's down. It's just a wild and crazy thing. Let's have a quick look on. Oh, what's this? The news. Oh no, I've got it open. Not only. Okay. No, I think you're incorrect, Safa, when you say Albanese ruled it out, because media reports from the last 2 days are Albanese not ruling out a double dissolution. And yes, Ricky say, I have no idea. I don't know what Labor's polling is telling them about if there was an election. I don't know. So Well, Safra, I think you may have misunderstood something on ABC because I just did a quick search and media outlets, including the ABC, over the last 2 days have said hasn't ruled out a double dissolution. There are other things with him quoted as saying he won't go to the polls next year. Okay, here's where I think there might have been mixed signals because there's a bit of flexibility in the date when the government actually calls the election if it's not a double dissolution. And so Albanese has apparently said he wouldn't do an early election, but he hasn't ruled out a double dissolution, which is actually different to an early election. So that's a bit confusing. So yeah, that's probably what you heard. Albanese saying he wouldn't do an early election because there is a considerable degree of flexibility when an election's called, but he didn't rule out a double dissolution, which would mean an election. So that's why it would be confusing. So who knows is the answer. So would Rudd have won if not removed? Who knows? But Rudd was such a fucking whack job. Nobody in his own party could work with him. And I've said many times the level of disappointment I had in Kevin Rudd. I think he had the potential to be a truly great prime minister, but he fucked it all up with the not sleeping and being grumpy and angry all the time and being absolutely impossible to work with. Because the parliamentary party offing him was pretty unprecedented. And it's just like literally he was impossible to work with. He was paranoid and angry and abusive. I don't think anyone disputes that he was abusive. But he just fucked up. Official Justin. Pauline Hanson. She's just the gutter. She's below the gutter. She's like the old sewers that have been forgotten that are below the sewers we still use. Old sewers that were sealed over and there's just a century's worth of old shit decaying down there. That's where she is. She's just the fucking worst, honestly. But then again, you get other people who try real hard to be worse than her, like Clive Palmer and people associated with him. It's just... And again, what's really weird, every time I get upset with those elements in Australian politics, if I want to get really upset, then I just look at American politics and stuff that is basically in the mainstream there that is horrific and heinous, and it's very difficult to understand how some of the shit that happens in the US is even possible. It's so fucked. Yeah. Yeah. Why would anyone be upset at Pauline Hanson? What is she? Oh gosh, she is damn. Strictly Sega, excellent question. How has she been around so long? Well, swings and roundabouts and whatnot. There are always going to be racist fuckwits here and everywhere else. And you look at which media outlets who are apparently desperate for controversy and attention platformed her for years when they shouldn't have. They absolutely shouldn't have. And it's immoral and indefensible that they did. They gave her power just for the sake of drama. Justin, US politics. US politics is so much fucking worse. US politics is a fucking nightmare. Just the absolute unhinged bullshit of people like Trump and DeSantis and a whole swath of Republicans who are just pushing fucking alternate reality bullshit. It's absolutely fucking stunning shit that people are openly saying there. Racist, misogynist, queerphobic. It's fucking defies belief that people in the mainstream there say this absolutely unhinged, detached from reality bullshit. I have so much trouble wrapping my head around it. It's just fucked. It's just fucked. I was trying to think of another word. I was going, you know what? I'm just going to go for poor Safi, your stepbrother likes Hanson. There are probably people in my family who like Hanson. It's just fucked. That's a fun one. It's a Trump reference, asking the pool board to flood the pool to ruin the documents. Yeah. Media was convinced by Australian public captivated how. Yeah, it's oh no, it's just fucked. Okay, see, that's another, but again, that's DeSantis in Florida, and it's insane. PragerU in the curriculum saying slavery helped black people. That's just like fucking hell, Jesus. It's just, how do you even respond to shit like that? It's just what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? It's like you can't even process it. It's so fucked up. It's just so extremely fucked up. It's shit that I never thought I'd see. I have to be honest. I did not picture major democracies backsliding to this degree. Was I a secret Labour voter? It wasn't much of a fucking secret, I tell you. Justin, I hadn't heard that. Noog said that that's a thing. Oh yes, and DeSantis is at war with Disney, and it's just like, no, Disney is not a morally great company, but a competent company, and DeSantis is neither competent nor particularly intelligent. So I would absolutely expect him to lose against Disney. Safa, you're at war with Disney because they're not selling physical media in Australia anymore. You know, what are you going to do? I haven't bought physical media for a while. I used to buy it all the time. And so I've got a lot of it. Then I just realized, because I would be buying whole seasons of TV shows. And I was like, okay, well, that's a month of a whole streaming service, or several months, depending what streaming service. So I thought, yeah, I'm just going to pay for a couple streaming services. So, okay, I'm just trying to think if I'll make a drink, or I'm about to get a message from Mrs. Angry that she's going to bed. I don't know. I might. Because I do feel the need to. Okay, what I might do, because I might be about to go, but I might put chicken in charge for like 60 seconds or so. Play some elevator music while I go and try and find what's happening. Okay. Elevator music. I'll play this one. I haven't played this one for a while. I won't be long. Just got to suss what's happening down here. All right, chicken's not in charge anymore. Oh, comments went wild while I was gone. All right, so we're talking about JB selling weird stuff. They sell a lot of games, actually. I should get a game for the stream. We haven't played a game on the stream, like card-based games. Oh, goodness me. And yes, vinyl in JB is weirdly expensive. Last time I bought vinyl was when it was the thing you bought. An album cost like $20. That was like in the 80s, 90s. Now they cost so much. My poor little Gen X brain can't handle it. All right. What are we doing here? Oh, shit. Okay. A little bit of ice. I think, are we old-fashioned or just have a bit of clarified cocktail in here? That's true. Maybe we should do Jackbox one time. Yeah, because I can put out codes and people can just join on phones or devices. Maybe we should do that for a party night or something. Play some Jackbox. That could be good. Now, randomly. Oh, that's what I wanted. I knew I meant to get something when I went out there and I forgot. Get a cocktail skewer. Man, I love the smell of citrus when you peel it. This is me thinking. You know what? I might disappear really quickly. Might even put stuff on because it can just be extremely quick. Okay, I did come back quickly. Yeah, no, I didn't even put a chicken there because I wasn't going long enough. Oh. Just for you, Mega Leech, I will try and find more chickens tomorrow. Because they're about. So remember, I'll try and see if I can find some more chickens for tomorrow night's stream. Did I forget the cherry yesterday? I don't even remember. I don't know. I feel like I did have the cherries. I literally just got cherry for the first time tonight. Should have done it earlier. Cheers, y'all. Oh, that is a really fucking yummy clarified drink. Yum. That had all manner of stuff. This was random stuff. I had some other stuff I'd made and I was going, oh, they're having that. I'm just going to clarify it. And it was a little bit of a cocktail and liqueur, and I just chucked it all in there. And all right, Justin's confirming I didn't have a cherry yesterday. That seems weird. That seems very weird. Well, maybe I will have two then. All right. There's only a couple left in here. Ugh. All right. It's not the end of the stream right now, but it's probably not going much longer. Oh, yes, I remember Obliteraces, Mega Leech. And you did get me a thing of that. And then I feel like I haven't played it. But then again, I do not play many games, to be fair. Which bottle? Oh, we're saying this is a pretty bottle? This had Mr. Black coffee liquor in it. Kind of like Mr. Black does very occulty symbols on all their bottles. I'm just waiting for one of these right-wing whack jobs to suddenly go, hey, these people selling this stuff, they've got this very occulty symbols on their bottles. I think they're demon worshippers, and try to whip up a whole anti-Mr. Black frenzy. Kind of surprised it hasn't happened already, because the symbolism is very occulty. So, yeah. And because those weirdos are very, very goddamn weird. They're out there being weirdos, doing weird shit. Oh, good. Okay, randomly, this popped in my head. Weirdos doing weird shit. There was a protest in Melbourne today in Sunshine out west because there's a gym run by Nazis, and they were advertising they were having an event there. So a bunch of anti-fascists said they were going to have a rally to protest outside the gym, and there were a lot of anti-fascists showed up at this thing, and the cops had formed like a protective barrier outside the gym to stop the protesters getting too close to the gym. And there's a lot of people who posted that with things like cops protecting the Nazis. And yeah, Dix, I get it and whatnot, but I feel like what the cops would say is, yeah, if you all were going to go in there, there was going to be violence, and we're not protecting anyone, we're stopping violence from happening. But yeah, it's not a good visual. No, yeah, official Justin, straight up Nazi gen. Yeah. So I'm just hearing a bunch of Discord tweaks. Okay, we're talking about was it Strictly Say you want to watch, is it But I'm a Cheerleader, which is a good movie. Unless you're talking about um the other cheerleader movie. I don't know. See, Justin, yes and no. And very much zero tolerance for Nazis. But that's what I was saying. That's why I was literally going, people going like, oh, the cops protecting the Nazis. I feel like the cops' argument would be, we're just having a barrier between groups so violence doesn't happen. Oh, sorry, you did ask that before, Safa. No, I didn't hate Melbourne when I was in Sydney. I didn't really know much about it. I do very clearly remember, because I got removalists to move some of my stuff from Sydney to Melbourne, and they made a whole thing about it. Really, mate? Going to Melbourne? What the fuck? I used to joke about the most livable city thing there, because honestly, that sounds super lame. That whole most livable city, when you don't live it, when you don't know it, that just sounds lame to me. I always thought when I was in Sydney and there'd be things about Melbourne being the most livable city, is going, that sounds like such a sucky endorsement. That sounds terrible. And then you move here and it's like, oh, that's what you mean by livable, as in it's easy to live here. Yeah, that's true. So official Justin, the Nazi gym, what do they do there? Oh no, it's literally no. They literally are specifically promoting Nazi ideological issues, and they are trying to impressionable young men up to be violent Nazis. Justin, apparently the people who publish this thing about most livable city, they have a whole index, and it's got to do with employment, education, environment, public transport, health, all these. Apparently they've got a whole tier of things that they measure it off. Vienna is, by their measure, the most livable city in the world. I think Melbourne's second now. All right, so Mrs. Angry's going to bed. So I'm going to go to bed too. Justin, you like space. I'm a city person. Having grown up in the country, I'm not going back to the country anytime. But I'm going to eat the double cherry. We'll probably be doing stream tomorrow night. If you're around, see you then. Oh, Strictly Say, yeah, you're going to watch But I'm a Cheerleader. It's a good movie. Oh man, these cherries are so fucking good. I love them. All right, so okay, so you all take care. I do remember also, Dr. Abigail, sorry, I do remember Gertrude Street in Fitzroy being second tallest street in the world. It was a pretty good streak. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. You all take care. If we see you again another time,